Are you ready to unlock the secret to radiant and youthful skin? Look no further. PSH Nutrition is here with an exclusive offer that will leave you glowing from the inside out. Introducing their buy one get one free promotion. When you purchase their premium vitamin C serum, you'll receive a free bottle of their delicious collagen gummies. That's right, it's a double treat for your skin and your taste buds. PSH Nutrition's vitamin C serum is specifically formulated to brighten your complexion, reduce wrinkles, and promote a healthy, youthful glow. It's like a burst of sunshine for your skin. And with their collagen gummies, you'll nourish your skin from the inside. Collagen is the secret ingredient for firm, supple skin, and now you can enjoy it in a tasty, convenient gummy form. But wait, there is more. They take pride in their commitment to quality and your satisfaction. PSH Nutrition products are made with the highest standards and are backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Your skin deserves the best, and PSH Nutrition is here to deliver. It's time to embrace your natural beauty, and they're here to help you shine. Visit their website at pshnutrition.com or call their hotline now to order your vitamin C serum and get those collagen gummies for free. Hurry, this offer will not last. PSH Nutrition, where beauty meets health. Again, pshnutrition.com.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me.
Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my idol. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody, guys and girls? Welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown Review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I'm the host of this show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on X at Michael5Ritter, and also one of the hosts of the Football Function podcast, available on all your podcasting platforms, including on Patreon, if you prefer an ad-free experience. I am excited to be here to get to chat with you guys and talk about the SmackDown that aired on December 1st, 2023 from Brooklyn, New York. Location breakdown, obviously brought to you by DJ Kuzmo, which, little coincidence here, DJ Kuzmo is from Brooklyn. It's his hometown. So yeah, obviously this location was a little bit more close to home, literally. So yeah, shout out to DJ and obviously, the entire state of New York for being such a loyal wrestling fan base. Whether they are in Madison Square Garden, New York City, whether they're in Brooklyn, New York, in the Barclays Center, it really doesn't matter. I mean, that whole state, even Albany, I know, that's Matt's hometown, so New York is well represented here on the WWE Podcast, so anytime they go to those areas, you just know it's going to be a phenomenal crowd experience. The atmosphere, the environment, everything there is built for professional wrestling. Speaking of New York City, today, when I'm recording this, Saturday morning, December 2nd, Kiss, as you guys know, my favorite band of all time. I got to see them late October. They are performing their very last show ever. Madison Square Garden. It's where they were last night. It's where they're going to be tonight. I have a company Christmas party tonight that I'm really, in a little bit of a pickle. What do I do? Do I go to this company Christmas party? It's probably going to overlap with this Kiss concert. Or do I just say, screw it. The company Christmas party happens every year. This is the last Kiss concert. Yes, it's on pay-per-view. I could probably stream it, somewhere afterwards. But it's not the same as watching it live when it's happening, being a part of the moment, which is something that I definitely, appreciate. So, that's a little something I'll have to figure out. I will update you guys next week on the decision that was made and what I ended up doing tonight. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you so much for tuning into the SmackDown Review. Hopefully this show will be up to the standard that is the WWE Podcast, and hopefully you will enjoy what you hear, because obviously we're going to talk about the SmackDown. That's the whole meat and potatoes of this episode. But we're going to have some side little treats to talk about as well. Number one, we're going to discuss the obvious returns that happened at Survivor Series. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to have a Stack 'em Up Saturday. We're going to take a listener suggestion. I mentioned it last week. Lefty Lucy, rightly Oosie. Thank you so much for your suggestion. We're going to do the top 5 personal upsets. Just my, very subjective, my personal top 5 upsets that I've seen. And what I mean by that is pretty much going into a night, whether it's Monday Night Raw, whether it's a pay-per-view, expecting something to happen or not happen, and then the complete opposite taking place. So pretty much just being very upset in the moment. Now, it could mean a lot of things. You could have your own personal definition for that, and you could also have your own personal list, which I expect you to, obviously. But I'm just going to give my top 5 personal upsets, times that left me sad at the end of a night, at the end of a WWE show, where I expected something else to happen, and the show either swerved me or just went in a complete opposite direction. Whether I expected it or not, I was still hoping for the opposite. But nonetheless, we're going to get into that at the very end of the show. First and foremost, I guess I should talk about the elephant in the room, guys. We had some pretty big returns on Survivor Series. Obviously, the massive one, CM Punk. Cannot believe that that's actually taking place here in the WWE. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. And then obviously Randy Orton, like the legend killer, the Viper, the Apex Predator, makes his return. And it got a little bit juicy on SmackDown with Randy Orton. Cannot wait to discuss that. And then obviously R-Truth. He was the more underrated return. I feel like the comedy that R-Truth delivers on a weekly basis, whenever it's not there, they try to find it elsewhere. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. More often than not, WWE is left looking pretty stupid whenever they try to force feed us some comedy. But R-Truth is someone who can organically make you laugh. He can make you invested into whatever, silly gimmick that he's got going on. And it's just something that I feel like gets a pass, no matter how cheesy, no matter how corny it may be. I feel like it just always gets a little bit of a pass from me. But the Randy Orton return, I feel like that one was pretty interesting because there were so many reports over the last year and a half. Is he going to come back? I mean, in this day and age, in other sports, especially football, people retire early. Like, I can think of several people off the top of my head that retired before they were like 30 years old, just in the last decade or so. When you think about guys like Patrick Willis, Calvin Johnson, Andrew Luck, players hang it up a lot sooner than what you might expect them to. And WWE, pro wrestling, that's just as gruesome. That's just as physical, toll-taking on your body as any other sport out there. Like, trust me, these guys put themselves through hell. It might not be, real actual contact, knuckles to, to forehead or face, whatever. But sometimes those real shots connect. I mean, I could point you to several different videos on YouTube where, some stiff shots were thrown by pro wrestlers. Nia Jax and Charlotte, go look up that one where they were actually pulling each other's hair, punching each other in the face. It was just a vicious exchange of blows. And you'll see those from time to time, whether they're real, whether they're planned. I mean, even Randy Orton, just since we're talking about him, ironically, the whole SummerSlam, his return, whenever Brock Lesnar came and elbowed him right in the forehead, he's kind of had that real, just took off his UFC gloves. Obviously, Chris Jericho didn't appreciate that. Him and Brock Lesnar had a little bit of a heated exchange in the, gorilla position backstage area after that. But because, just getting back to my point here, because, how brutal this lifestyle is, somebody who's been around for 20 years, like Randy Orton, you don't necessarily want to rule out the toll that his career has taken on him up to this point. I mean, 20 years is, if LeBron James retired right now, would any of you be like mind blown? Probably not. He's been around for a long time. 2003, right around the same time Randy Orton became a pro wrestler. So it's been a long journey up to this point, I know he's third generation. He's just an absolute, I don't know how to explain it. It's like he was carved, he's like, I guess JBL is the one who said it. They always reference it. If you were to create a WWE superstar on 2K or just on a video game, Randy Orton would be the person that you would create. You'd want the physique to be there. You'd want him to have some size in terms of his height and all that good stuff. You want him to be charismatic, have the mic skills and, just the overall look of a professional wrestler. And Randy Orton has had that from day one. So getting him back for another run, whenever we thought, man, this guy's having back surgeries. Is he actually going to return? When he does return, what can we expect from him? Is this going to be the 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door Randy Orton, kind of in that phase of his career where he's starting to fade, where he's starting to appear less, be less involved in meaningful storylines. We saw it with RK Bro. He was getting more featured before he got injured. And now he's back and looks better than ever. Let's talk about it, man. This dude is jacked. First thing I noticed when I saw him come out, I was like, whoa. Like, this is not the slim, tall, skinny Randy Orton. This is an absolute beast. Someone who's got some meat on his bones now. And, specifically just muscle everywhere. Look at his traps, his shoulders, his biceps. Anytime your biceps get bigger, like if you already have tattoos and you all of a sudden start working out and your arms get bigger, your tattoos, I guess they tend to stand out a little bit more. Randy Orton's tattoos have gotten phenomenal work done over the years where, his tattoos may not be the same as your tattoos. And obviously he has oil and whatever that substance is that makes him shine, before he comes out. So clearly that's a little bit different. But nonetheless, if you look at his arms, you could tell, holy hell, this dude has absolutely been hitting the gym. And he just looks a hell of a lot different than what he has pretty much over the course of my time watching him. He's always been really slimmer. And this is just, at 43 years old, the best shape he's ever been in? That's insane. It's honestly inspiring for any of you out there. Like, I know that you're not a professional wrestler, most likely, but if you feel like, man, I'm just getting too old, I'm never going to look like I did in my early 20s or whatever, like, yeah, you might not look just like you did in your early 20s. Obviously, age is a real thing. Like, you're going to age in some ways, but that doesn't mean you can't look better and different and healthy in a different way. Like, you can go hit the gym, get in the best shape you've ever been in your entire life right now. Like, the new year's already about to come. We just started a new month. Why not get a little bit of a head start? I'm trying to inspire you to channel your inner Randy Orton. Because for the longest time, Randy Orton, like, if you looked at him over the last, 5 or 6 years, he was never out of shape. He was never, in bad shape. But you could tell, all right, yeah, Randy Orton, when he first started, he had a six-pack that you could obviously it was like a washboard, and muscles were there. It looked like he kind of aged a little bit and, gained a little bit of weight. He still looked good. He still looked like a pro wrestler, but you didn't really take him serious because of, who was standing next to him. Whenever you look at guys like, obviously, Bobby Lashley, who's aging like fine wine. You look at Brock Lesnar, who just still looks like an absolute mammoth. Edge even got in some phenomenal shape when he made his comeback for the Royal Rumble in 2020. So Randy Orton coming back and looking as great as he is, oh man, this is big. Like, this is big for us. You guys saw the video, right? 10 years is what he signaled to the crowd. Like, I'll be back for 10 more years. I believe it. Like, he had a lot of time to, I guess, think and recalibrate what he wants as a WWE superstar in his career, man. It was without a doubt a crossroads for him. Like, damn, I suffered a serious injury. Do I hang it up? What do I need? Like, how badly do I want this? And if you saw the emotion when he went to the top rope to do his signature pose, I think it's pretty evident that this means a lot to him. He missed it, and he's not taking it for granted. And I do believe that we're going to get a great run here from Randy Orton to end his career, much more than what I anticipated. I thought that maybe his days as being a champion and just being a main event player might have been behind him. He was more so in the giving back stage of his career where he's putting over talent. He's the one that's taking losses, kind of settling there for the upper mid-card, maybe the lower mid-card, just still being involved but not featured heavily and prominently enough, similar to how we may have seen him get introduced to the SmackDown brand, immediately thrusted into a program with the Bloodline. So you know that Randy Orton is clearly in WWE's big-time plans going forward. So yeah, without a doubt, happy to see Randy Orton, happy to see him on SmackDown for sure. But another return happened that night almost immediately after. We cannot ignore it. We cannot just, completely brush it under the rug. CM Punk made his return to WWE. And I never thought I'd utter those words. Like, I never thought that I would say that on this podcast. CM Punk is back in the WWE. Now, some people feel a certain way about it. I am not necessarily an AEW fan. Sting, one of my top favorite wrestlers of all time. Love Sting. I will tune into AEW specifically for Sting. MJF, his potential is absolutely through the roof. Whenever Jade Cargill was in WWE, or was in AEW, I apologize. MJF and Jade Cargill were the two that I was like, yeah, I want them. Other than that, sayonara AEW. I'm really not, that invested or interested in the product. And that's not a shot. If you are an AEW fan, seriously, I have nothing against AEW fans or people who support it. It's just, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. Like, I'm a WWE fan, and that's why I am here recording a podcast for the WWE podcast and not the AEW podcast. But nonetheless, I would always watch from afar and admire some of the talent from afar. You know, similar to Jade Cargill, MJF. Those were the two that I really, really wanted. And I remember pretty vividly whenever CM Punk made his return to AEW in Chicago. I didn't record a SmackDown review that night because the internet was just absolutely blowing up over that. You know, like I knew like there would be no point in me trying to discuss this SmackDown when we just saw a massive bomb get dropped in the wrestling world. And that's what we thought it was. I mean, you know, a couple of years have gone by. It still seems like a massive moment. Obviously, AEW fans and CM Punk fans are never going to forget that. But the Vince McMahon-less WWE with CM Punk is something that does intrigue me, just being completely honest. Because I feel like there's a lot of the following of CM Punk that doesn't really gel well with the standard WWE formula, with how they book and present their superstars, just how they run their corporation as a whole. It's not their style. The same way that I'm not a fan of AEW, there's AEW fans that are like, WWE is so cartoony, you know, it's so whatever, it's PG, it's too much of a family show, yada, yada, yada. I get it, you know? But I really don't feel like that is the WWE that CM Punk is returning to. Like, he's not coming back in 2014, 2015, 2016 even, you know, whenever Stephanie McMahon was still very heavily featured. It's a different environment now. They're bringing general managers back. It seems like maybe they might be kind of trying to take the brand split serious. If we had a bidding war for Randy Orton, like that tells me that maybe they're taking it serious. They could be going back a little bit to their old ways. I truly feel like with the names that are there, with the exposure, with the resources that WWE has. I mean, they've always had resources, but now it just seems like it could just be the modern technology, everything that's going on. It seems bigger than ever. And if you have somebody like CM Punk on your roster where you can have these dream matches, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, CM Punk versus Kevin Owens. Like, man, there's so many fantasy matches that we're going to have an opportunity to cover here. See, whenever CM Punk was in the WWE for the first time, it was kind of, I was on my, home stretch. Like, if you look at it like a sprint relay, I was already on the fourth leg whenever CM Punk was really having his heyday in the WWE. I think he came, 2008, 2009, maybe 2007? I'm not 100% sure. Somebody can correct me on that and let me know exactly when CM Punk was a main roster player, I guess the early stages. Because I know, 2011, 2012, he was pretty big part of the company. But earlier, I know that he was still there whenever I was watching, but I quit watching wrestling right around 2009, 2010 as far as regularly. I still, peeked in every now and then. WrestleMania season's right around the corner, especially the year that they were at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. I think that might have been 2011. For some reason, I can't really pinpoint if it was 2010 or 2011. Sorry, guys. It's early in the morning. My memory, you guys know how it goes. But nonetheless.
Are you ready to unlock the secret to radiant and youthful skin? Look no further. PSH Nutrition is here with an exclusive offer that will leave you glowing from the inside out. Introducing their buy one, get one free promotion. When you purchase their premium vitamin C serum, you'll receive a free bottle of their delicious collagen gummies. That's right, it's a double treat for your skin and your taste buds. PSH Nutrition's vitamin C serum is specifically formulated to brighten your complexion, reduce wrinkles, and promote a healthy, youthful glow. It's like a burst of sunshine for your skin. And with their collagen gummies, you'll nourish your skin from the inside. Collagen is the secret ingredient for firm, supple skin, and now you can enjoy it in a tasty, convenient gummy form. But wait, there is more. They take pride in their commitment to quality and your satisfaction. PSH Nutrition products are made with the highest standards and are backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. So
I stopped
don't miss
watching
out
wrestling
on
right
this
whenever
incredible
CM Punk
offer.
was,
Your skin deserves the
at
best.
his heyday.
And PSH Nutrition is
I
here
missed
to
the
deliver.
glory days
It's
of
time
CM
to
Punk,
embrace
and
your
I just
natural
didn't really
beauty,
get the,
and they're here to help you
I guess
shine.
the,
Visit their website at
the love that the crowd was having for him.
pshnutrition.com or call their hotline
whenever
now
they'd be
to
chanting
order
his
your
name,
vitamin
whenever
C
he wasn't
serum
even there on the
and
roster
get those
or signed to
collagen
any
gummies for
wrestling
free.
company. He was pretty much
Hurry,
in retirement at this
offer
point.
will
No one
not
thought we'd
last.
ever see him wrestle
PSH
again,
Nutrition,
much less in
where
WWE.
beauty meets health. Again,
Anytime there was displeasure with the current product in
PSHnutrition.com.
WWE, they would never hesitate to chant his name, and that was just the ultimate sign of, hey, we don't like what's going on right now. Do something better. So now we get him here. The CM Punk chants are no longer a sign of displeasure with the company. They're a sign of support for the guy who's probably backstage or in the ring. Either one. He's going to be on SmackDown next week, which is crazy. I already mentioned. At one point, I didn't record a show because he made a jaw-dropping return to the other company. And now that he is here in WWE, it just seems like it seems kind of surreal, but hey, I'm excited to talk about it. I'm excited to break down what he has to say. I always, I guess, am intrigued whenever he has the microphone in his hand because you never really know where he's going. I don't feel like he got enough time on Monday Night Raw. That was just kind of obvious. They already mentioned, they dropped the report that the Mysterio and Orton match went a little bit too long, so CM Punk had to cut it back a little bit. Hopefully we hear more this Friday, or this next coming up Friday on SmackDown. And that's just where I'm going to leave the CM Punk stuff for now. Next week, we'll pick it back up. And, I'm really excited to go from there and see exactly what we can expect from him. What's his role going to be like in the company? I don't expect him to be a Raw or a SmackDown superstar. I was kind of shocked whenever we got the Randy Orton news about him being on SmackDown. So I think CM Punk may actually, take the free agent route. He's too big of a name. I don't think he's going to be around long enough or frequent enough for him to actually be one brand exclusive. So just kind of something to monitor there as we get used to CM Punk being back here in the WWE. But on that note, let's go ahead and get into the SmackDown. Like we said, aired on December 1st, 2023 from DJ Kuzmo's backyard, Brooklyn, New York, in the Barclays Center, home of multiple SummerSlams, NXT takeovers. This is a pretty historic WWE venue over the last decade, I'll say. So yeah, shout out to the Barclays Center. They always have a pretty phenomenal crowd. I'll definitely give them that. They opened up the show with Bianca Belair. She goes out and she gives a shout out to all of her War Games partners, mentions that she wants her title back, however. But then obviously, like you would expect, she's interrupted by Damage Control, noticeably without Bayley. I immediately noticed, where the hell is Bayley? Why isn't she coming out? Usually she's the one that has the microphone and is taking shots, but that seems to have been Dakota Kai over the last couple weeks. I'm starting to kind of realize they may be transitioning into Dakota Kai whenever they inevitably and eventually kick Bayley out of the group. But Kai tells Bianca that if she wants a shot at Io, she has to go through all of the members of Damage Control. And then immediately after that, Charlotte comes out with Shotzi and pretty much makes it well known, or makes sure that it's well known, that she is also going after Io Sky and that is that the WWE Women's Championship? I believe it is, yeah, because Rhea has the Women's World title. Okay. So she is also going after that WWE Women's Championship. And then, as you would expect, a brawl breaks out, and the babyface group of Bianca, Charlotte, and Shotzi get the better of Damage Control. And then we go backstage. We see Bayley. She approaches Damage Control, and she's upset. She didn't know where they were, what the hell's going on. And they pretty much just try to brush it under the rug. But I do feel like Bayley is starting to catch on to this. We see a little bit of that later on in the show. Moving on, next we get Butch versus Bobby Lashley. This stems from an interaction that they had last week on the SmackDown Lowdown. While Butch was being interviewed, it seems like Lashley just walked up, started taking shots at him. And, eventually that will lead to a one-on-one match, which we do get. Lashley wins this bad boy with a devastating spear. Shout out to Butch for selling it so well, did the backflip and everything. But, on the heels of whenever we did the top 5 spears, obviously Bobby Lashley got some respect on that episode. And he really earned it. It's like he listened to that and he was like, you know what? It's been a while since I've really speared the living hell out of someone. How about I go ahead and do that? And that's just exactly what Bobby Lashley did. He gets the win. Let's see here. After this, though, Butch is attacked backstage by Pretty Deadly during another backstage interview. So I don't really know what the hell to expect. What's next for Butch? It seems like something big, possibly. If, they do this to someone, they continuously show them get, the short end of the stick. Just kind of get beaten up time and time again. Especially here, Royal Rumble season. I expect Butch to be an entrant in that Royal Rumble. And I obviously expect him to maybe have a decent run. He might not win it, probably won't win it, but, you could definitely see him being at least a player and, lasting like 10, 15 minutes, especially because of his ability to carry a match, just being a phenomenal wrestler. But moving on here, keeping things backstage, Paul Heyman walks into Nick Aldis' office, and he picks up the WWE Jets Championship belt. The Jets and the Giants Championship belts are kind of just back there being shown off, trying to get you to buy one, which I'm not going to lie, they're a little pricey, but man, they are definitely, a beautiful belt. And every time I see it, especially the Falcons, it makes me want to buy it every single time. But Paul Heyman asks a rhetorical question. He says, "Did you invite Randy Orton to SmackDown tonight?" Aldis says yes. And he also plans to sign Randy Orton to a SmackDown exclusive contract tonight. So that right there got me invested in the show immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, are we really about to possibly get Randy Orton on the SmackDown roster going forward? You guys know how I feel about this. Anytime SmackDown can get a nice, wrestler on their show, anytime they can get somebody in the caliber of Randy Orton, sign me up. I am here for that all day. But let's see here. Paul Heyman asks if Roman Reigns knows about this. But apparently all communication to Roman Reigns is supposed to go through Paul Heyman. So if anyone dropped the ball, it was likely Paul. But Aldis actually doubles down, and he says, look, I want to sign Randy Orton. He expresses his desire to sign Orton, and eventually gets pretty stern with Paul Heyman, even asking him, what are you going to do about it? In which Heyman says, whatever it takes. Pulls out his phone, likely calls Roman Reigns, and you guys know, pretty much what happens from here. Let's see. Up next, we get Santos Escobar versus Joaquin Wilde. Santos does get the quick win, tries to continue assaulting Wilde after the match, but Dragon Lee comes out, stands up for Joaquin Wilde, and takes it directly to Santos Escobar, giving him a nice, healthy slice of humble pie. And you could probably expect a program between these guys going forward. It just seems like, the LWO LDF, Legado del Fantasma. I slipped my mind there a little bit. But that faction, we're pretty much going to end the year discussing and kind of witnessing the demise of, that group. Obviously LWO is over, but there was a group inside of the group, and it seems like it's all starting to crumble. And unfortunately, we're probably on the last leg, the 9th inning of this whole thing. But nonetheless, Santos Escobar, you guys already know how I feel about his theme song. It's one of the best in the entire company. And, seeing a possible heel version of him would be dope. I've heard rumors of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo joining forces with him, so we might get another little faction here. I'm fine with that, because Santos does look like, the leader of a group. I'm not sure how he fares as a true singles competitor. So I think the more lackeys and just the more group members he has, probably the better. We go backstage and, we kind of see Adam Pearce. He's confronting Nick Aldis saying, look, you're going to try to sign a Raw legend underneath my nose, behind my back like this? Yeah, I love the dynamic between Adam Pearce and Aldis. It really makes it feel like a actual brand rivalry here. And it's not like a gimmick Survivor Series 5-on-5 brand superiority type thing. It's legitimately like, hey, I want my show to be better than yours. I don't really like the both general managers appearing on both shows every single week and, superstars going back and forth. I do like that Becky Lynch wasn't here tonight, so we didn't see her. We didn't see Cody Rhodes, anything like that. So, yeah, keep these SmackDown guys on SmackDown and the Raw guys on Raw. Just how I feel about it. Adding general managers, I feel like, is without a doubt a step in the right direction. Let's see here. Moving on. Logan Paul, the United States champion. He makes an appearance, makes his return to Friday Night SmackDown, the home of the United States Championship. So, by default, the home of Logan Paul, or at least that's the way that it should be. And as you would expect, he gloats for a little bit, per usual, and then announces a tournament to determine the next number one contender for the United States Championship. He starts announcing all of the contenders in said tournament, and then one of them actually comes out, the odds-on favorite, in my personal opinion, Kevin Owens. He goes out and he says that Logan standing in his ring is a nightmare. He mentions Vine as a place where he discovered Logan a decade ago, and then he realized that Logan Paul is a jackass. He tells him that his days are numbered as United States champion, And then out comes Grayson Waller, Austin Theory. They actually go out there and they start targeting Kevin Owens. Despite both of them being in the United States Championship tournament, they start targeting Kevin Owens and begin to insult him. And they point out the similarities with themselves and Logan Paul. But it doesn't take long before Kevin Owens gives a quick knockout blow to Austin Theory. And then we get a one-on-one match between Kevin Owens and Grayson Waller. I will say, though, the exchange between Logan Paul and Kevin Owens was interesting. I feel like it tipped the hat for who's going to win this. We're going to get a program between these guys soon. It's going to be phenomenal. But the exchange the line that Logan Paul had where he said, they call you the prize fighter? Well, I fought Floyd Mayweather, who's pretty much the best fighter of all time. And, I will have no problem defeating you. I'm paraphrasing there. Obviously, he said his own lines. Go back and watch the program or the promo if you haven't already seen it. But Kevin Owens' response when he said, that's a whole different world. It's a different game. In this ring, this is my world. And it was just, that's pretty much where they were right in each other's face, going back and forth. It really got good. That's whenever Theory and Waller came out. But it just really got me going, and that's pretty much what let me know that Kevin Owens was likely going to be a pretty big part of SmackDown in this program going forward. It definitely is the odds-on favorite to win just because he just got here, and he needs a meaningful, storyline, and this just seems like it makes sense, and it fell right in their lap. But up next, we get the match that I just referenced, Kevin Owens versus Grayson Waller. Logan Paul is on commentary. Not a long match at all. Kevin Owens gets a roll-up win. Not the, juiciest and sexiest finishes, but hey, he gets the win, and he defeats somebody who has been a thorn in his side since he's got to this show. And maybe it'll be a preview if these two guys end up being matched up together in the tournament. But we get the main event match here. Up next, Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane. And Io tells Bayley to stay backstage tonight, which is what I was mentioning. A little bit weird. Bayley just seems like she kind of, just getting the short end of the stick in this group despite being the veteran. And it seems like she's on her way out. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about it for a while now. These two have been butting heads. But now that Bayley's starting to kind of notice the wedge that's inserted between herself and all four other members in the group, it just seems like the writing is on the wall. And Bayley might be starting to see it. But we get Charlotte and Shotzi in the corner of Bianca, Bayley, basically just to try to keep it fair. But, I mean, there was interference all over the place. Some people get sent backstage, but the interference continues whenever Bianca is well in control of this match. As soon as it's, just one-on-one fair and square, I don't think it's any shocker to anybody that Kairi Sane is not on the level of Bianca Belair. It's just, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Bianca Belair runs circles around Kairi, and that's pretty much what she was doing in this match until Bayley comes out and pulls Bianca's hair, allowing Kairi to have one last shot. But even despite that, it didn't even take long. It was like one shot for Bianca to really put her out. And yeah, it was just Kairi Sane had no chance here. She was no match for Bianca Belair, and probably the matchups are going to get easier and easier for Bianca Belair as she continues to just slice her way through Damage Control and obviously get to her rematch with Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. Up next, we get the bidding war for Randy Orton to close out the show. Obviously, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis in the ring, waiting for Orton to show up. He does. But of course, so does Paul Heyman, and so does Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman's trying to warn him. He's pretty much saying, look, go to Raw. You better choose Raw. You'll be safe over there on Raw. He's trying to scare him or bully him into making a decision, but it's clear what Randy Orton wants. Randy Orton wants revenge. He's going to get his revenge on the Bloodline. And in order for that to happen, he has to be on SmackDown. That's where he's going to really get... I mean, as I say that, I realize it really doesn't matter what show he's on, but if he's going to have a brand next to his name, obviously I want it to be SmackDown, and it just seems like it's his easiest path to the Bloodline. So it just makes sense. But as Solo and Jimmy Uso come out, Randy Orton just takes the beating right to them. Before they even get in the ring, he just goes right at them. Obviously, the 2-on-1 disadvantage seems like it's going to take Randy Orton out, but we get the music drop of L.A. Knight, and he comes out to the rescue to make it 2-on-2. Take care of Solo Sikoa. Jimmy Uso gets an RKO just for good measure. And then Randy Orton picks up both of the, little, contracts Raw and SmackDown had a nice touch, a nice little, I guess, hat tip to Dave Bautista back in 2005, maybe 2004. I mean, I don't know. After he won the Royal Rumble, probably 2005. But nonetheless, I love when they do stuff like this. The fact that he had to choose Raw or SmackDown, and he obviously chose SmackDown, just felt great. I was like, yes, he's finally going to come over here. I finally get to, cover a show that features Randy Orton on a weekly basis. Hell yes. But he also tells Paul Heyman that he can call Roman Reigns and let him know that Daddy's back. And that is how the show goes off the air. Randy Orton, obviously, a nice ovation from the crowd. They get to see an RKO, and it's going to be phenomenal having Randy Orton part of the SmackDown brand. That does it for the SmackDown review portion of this show. Now I'm going to quickly let you guys know my top 5 upsets, just in my personal fandom over the years. I'm going to start off number 5, and it's not necessarily a match, but just a moment in time that happened that extremely upset me. Kane taking off his mask. Like, that was just because, he had a one-on-one match with Triple H. If he won, he got a shot at the title. If he lost, he has to unmask in front of the entire world, which he lost, obviously. And that was just a wild moment. It happened in June. I remember it very vividly. Just a crazy moment, and, it changed the career of Kane from there on. He had a long run after that, but a lot of people look at that moment and think, man, he should never have taken off his mask. And sometimes I can't help but agree. Number 4, I have Cody Rhodes losing at WrestleMania 39. And I know that's kind of short-term memory, I guess. Prisoner of the moment, whatever you want to call it. I really wanted him to win. I felt like it made sense. The story was there. It just seemed like it was the right way to go. I was fully on board for Cody Rhodes beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, and it did not happen. So that's definitely, I had to feature that on my list because, I felt some type of way about it. In fact, I still kind of do, but the story may not be over, so hopefully we'll get a moment of triumph for Cody Rhodes at some point, hopefully at WrestleMania 40. At number 3, I'm going all the way back to Armageddon 2003 when Goldberg loses a triple threat match between Kane and Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. It was his only World Heavyweight Championship run in WWE during his quick little year stint that he had in 2003, early 2004. He won the title at Unforgiven in September and lost it in December at Armageddon, and that was just a short title reign, but it was meaningful during the that fall season. It was badass having Goldberg as the World Heavyweight Champion, and I was absolutely devastated whenever he lost. Number 2, I'm going back to 2015. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 31. I was all in on Roman Reigns. It just seemed like the perfect story. Him being the perfect guy to go at Brock Lesnar and, take his championship from him. Unfortunately, did not happen. Obviously, greatest heist, or the heist of the century, the greatest Money in the Bank cash-in of all time. Seth Rollins has the biggest moment of his career, arguably up until this point. He comes out, he cashes in, he wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. But man, I thought that Roman Reigns deserved it. He was finally getting momentum, and I thought maybe he had an opportunity to beat Brock Lesnar, and unfortunately, did not happen. But that one was a very meaningful match for me, and I was definitely upset whenever Seth did that. Now, number 1, I always mention it, especially around November. The greatest Survivor Series card of all time is 2003. And whenever Shawn Michaels had a brilliant effort to try to win this match for his team. It was 5-on-5, traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Team Bischoff versus Team Stone Cold Steve Austin. And if Team Bischoff won, Stone Cold Steve Austin would leave. He would no longer be the co-general manager of Raw. And Dave Bautista had a little bit of something to do with this. He came in and interfered after Shawn Michaels was down, 4-1. He came back. It ended up being 1-on-1. He ended up losing this match, but it just meant so much. It really put Shawn Michaels over for me as, someone who watched WCW in the 90s. And whenever I was a WWE fan, I really didn't get a chance to see a whole lot of HBK, because he was already gone because of his injury until ultimately whenever he came back. But man, that was the moment where it really, sunk into me, the type of competitor Shawn Michaels was, and then the speech that Stone Cold Steve Austin gave the Dallas crowd after that. Fast forward, 19 years later, WrestleMania in Dallas, I get a chance to see Stone Cold Steve Austin live in person, have his first match since whatever. Yeah, that was a very, very special time. And just, you go all the way back to Survivor Series 2003, I promise you will not be disappointed in that card. So let's run through my top 5 upsets really quickly here. Number 5, Kane unmasking. Number 4, Cody Rhodes losing at WrestleMania 39. Number 3, Armageddon 2003, Goldberg losing the World Heavyweight Championship. Number 2, Roman Reigns losing at WrestleMania 31 thanks to Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank cash-in. And number 1, Survivor Series 2003, Team Austin comes up short after a brilliant effort from HBK, Shawn Michaels. There you have it, guys. That is my Stack 'em Up Saturday. That's my top 5 upsets, my top 5 personal upsets, I should say, of all time, as well as a SmackDown review and some thoughts about CM Punk, Randy Orton, towards the beginning of the show. So thank you guys so much for choosing this podcast. Hopefully you'll do the same thing next week. Same time, same place. You'll get some more SmackDown coverage. CM Punk makes his return to SmackDown next week, so we'll definitely have some things to talk about. But all in all, guys, thank you so much for tuning in here. Hopefully you have a damn good rest of your weekend. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and I'll talk to you soon.
Are you ready to unlock the secret to radiant and youthful skin? Look no further. PSH Nutrition is here with an exclusive offer that will leave you glowing from the inside out. Introducing their buy one get one free promotion. When you purchase their premium vitamin C serum, you'll receive a free bottle of their delicious collagen gummies. That's right, it's a double treat for your skin and your taste buds. PSH Nutrition's vitamin C serum is specifically formulated to brighten your complexion, reduce wrinkles, and promote a healthy, youthful glow. It's like a burst of sunshine for your skin. And with their collagen gummies, you'll nourish your skin from the inside. Collagen is the secret ingredient for firm, supple skin, and now you can enjoy it in a tasty, convenient gummy form. But wait, there is more. They take pride in their commitment to quality and your satisfaction. PSH Nutrition products are made with the highest standards and are backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Your skin deserves the best, and PSH Nutrition is here to deliver. It's time to embrace your natural beauty, and they're here to help you shine. Visit their website at pshnutrition.com or call their hotline now to order your vitamin C serum and get those collagen gummies for free. Hurry, this offer will not last. PSH Nutrition, where beauty meets health. Again, pshnutrition.com.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.